we are going to be talking about control, but not necessarily self-control, because that's where my brain first went of, oh, maybe this is about self-control, how to not lose our anger or our temper or anything like that, or our patience. But I'm going to kind of take it in a different way for you tonight. Who here has been in a car before? Good, everyone. Okay, now I'm going to create a narrative for you real quick. You're sitting in the car, Mary and Katie. You're sitting in the car, and your parent is driving, and you're in the passenger seat. And all of a sudden, while they're driving, you take the wheel and you just turn it. Has anyone done that before? Elias, you have? You have? You've taken it and you've like turned the whole wheel? But like in another direction of where the car is supposed to be going?
On the highway.
All right. So regardless if you're telling me the truth or not, most likely you have never actually taken the wheel and to steer the entire car for you to go like airborne. I'm pretty sure no one has done that to their parents. Because you are not the driver in that scenario. You're actually the passenger, trusting your parent to get you from point A to point B, the way that you allow them to get you here tonight. It would be so much more relaxing if we just sat in the passenger seat where we're supposed to be and enjoy the scenery. We're driving along, we maybe look at the snow or the Christmas lights or something, instead of having our focus be on, I want to just drive the car, I just want to drive the car, I want to drive the car. Maybe you do, but you're not going to necessarily have that be your main thought. You're probably just going to look out the window or be on your phone and just trust the person driving the car. So if we take this analogy and we put it into our faith life, we recognize that God is the driver and we are the passenger. The same way that God does not want us to just take the control from him is the same way that your parents, your grandparents don't want you to take the control from under their hands of the wheel. So if only we would just sit, relax, and say, God, I trust you. You know, getting me from point A to point B is going to be in your care, and I'm just going to relax and enjoy the ride and cooperate with you. But how often do we say, no, God, I want it this way. No, God, I would prefer this. I would prefer that. I prefer these friends, this family, this life circumstance, and we don't trust him, and we're trying to rip the wheel from him. But letting go of control requires surrender and trust, which we've already talked about. So the surrender novena, which many of you received a few weeks ago, just trusting God, loving the one that loves us the most, and trusting that he has a great plan for you and for I. And he's going to be the one who takes care of us, and he's not going to lead us to harm, and he's not going to lead us to anything that's not going to bring us to joy. So the question of the night, which we're going to dive deeper into in our small groups, is, do we trust this man here, Jesus? Do we trust him enough to have control over our life? And if we don't trust him, why? We don't trust people often who we don't know. So if you're not in communication with God or with Jesus or any member of the Trinity, maybe that's why you're not trusting him to control your life. If you don't maybe surrender your entire life over and you're like, I really like having control of this, but you can just have this one aspect. That's not fully surrendering. That's not fully trusting. So tonight we're going to figure out how can we be good passengers in life and allow God to be in full control over our thoughts, emotions, actions, friend groups. So without further ado, that's what we're going to get started to do now.